Hey again everyone, so I have another review for you today, and today that review is on Anna Dressed in Blood by Kendare. And as always, I'll start by reading the back of the book, but bear with me because there's a lot to read on this one. There's the back and then in the flap. So here we go. This city smells like smoke and things that rot in the summer. It's more haunted than I thought it would be, an entire layer of activity just under the dirt. Whispers behind people's laughter, or movement that you shouldn't see in the corner of your eye. Most of them are harmless, sad little cold spots or groans in the dark, blurry patches of white that only show up in a Polaroid. I have no business with them. But somewhere out there is the one that matters. Somewhere out there is the one that I came for, one who is strong enough to squeeze the breath out of living throats. I think of her again, Anna dressed in blood. I wonder what trick she'll try. I wonder if she'll be clever. Will she float? Will she laugh or scream? How will she try to kill me? And then it's got, just your average boy meets girl, girl kills people story. Cass Lowood has inherited an unusual vocation. He kills the dead. So did his father before him, until his gruesome murder by a ghost he sought to kill. Now, armed with his father's mysterious and deadly fame, Cass travels the country with his kitchen witch mother and their spirit-sniffing cat. Together they follow legends and local lore, trying to keep up with the murderous dead, keeping pesky things like the future and friends at bay. When they arrive in a new town in search of a ghost the locals call Anna Dressed in Blood, Cass doesn't expect anything outside of the ordinary: move, hunt, kill. What he finds instead is a girl entangled in curses and rage, a ghost like he's never faced before. She still wears the dress she wore on the day of her brutal murder in 1958, once white but now stained red and dripping blood. Since her death, Anna has killed any and every person who has dared to step into the deserted Victorian house she used to call home. But she, for whatever reason, spares his life. Okay, so I have to say that I am not a horror person. I don't like horror movies. I've never read a horror book before in my life, but this is a YA horror book, and I don't know what it was about it, but the sound of it just really drew me in. I needed to read it. I needed to find out about this ghost and her curse and this boy and this love story. It really, really appealed to me, and I tried to get it for Halloween, perfect Halloween read, but every time I tried to get it, it was unavailable, and then it would be out of stock, and then it would be unavailable, because this isn't actually properly released in the UK. It's an American title, so you couldn't go into a bookstore and find it. I love the cover. It is one of the most perfect covers. The house is just how I pictured it should look, and you don't really see her features, but you have Anna in her white dress that's dripping this blood, and around the writing you have this like blurred red, and then her hair goes around to the back. And I loved the hardcover, how it has grey and then shiny red, and the actual text is, I think it's supposed to be like blood red, but it just comes up sort of like maroon brown. And I've never read a book where the text was a different colour, so my brain was sort of going, this is unnatural, text should be black, why is this sort of maroon? But when I got past that, it was okay. But I have to say, I loved this book. And I'll tell you why I loved this book, obviously. I liked that it was in a male perspective. It's in Cass's perspective. There's not many books that I have read that are YA sort of books that have been a male perspective. You get like contemporary that can be told in the girl and the boy's perspective. Beautiful Creatures was told in Ethan's perspective, and Angel by L.A. Weatherly, you get some bits in the guy's perspective, but this is wholly in Cass's perspective, and I love that. He was such a great character. I mean, it's this dark, gruesome book, but his character has sort of this sarcastic, sardonic wit. He is really great. His sense of humour is just brilliant. It's really great. There's a joke in there about Ghostbusters, It's very funny. I didn't expect humour in this book, but there is a lot of humour. I found myself smiling a lot. Another reason is I love unique character names. They make that book really stand out, and I loved the thought out name of this. His full name is Theseus Cassio Lowood. Lowood obviously being his family name, but his father loved Greek mythology, so he was called Theseus after the man that killed the Minotaur, and his middle name was Cassio because his mum was a fan of Othello. So I love that he has this unique name. This is a very unique book, and that's why I liked it so much. I didn't find it predictable at all. When you hear Anna's story, that came as a bit of a shock, and the first time you see her kill someone, the way she killed them, that came as a shock. And I'm not one for gore at all, so when that came up, I thought I would be like freaked out and like, oh my god, I don't like this. But actually, I found it strangely cool, which is kind of worrying. I think it was just on the right level. It wasn't too gory. I wasn't at the point where I was scared. I was just like on the edge of my seat wanting to read more. That's why I liked it, I think. Another great thing about this book is it's very authentic. The author has done her research. She knows what she is talking about. For example, Cass isn't, well, he calls himself Cass. Yeah, he doesn't have people call him his long-winded name of Theseus Cassio. His mum is a kitchen witch, and she cleans his knife that he goes out to kill ghosts with, and she puts it in a jar of salt and puts it under the moon for 3 nights. That is an authentic Wiccan way of cleansing. It didn't feel like she'd created fantasy. It felt like it was very realistic, if that's possible, with a murdering ghost. The romance is not the focus. I mean, it's kind of pivotal to it in a way. You can feel that it's going that way, but what it's really about is this ghost and the curse, and how Cass has isolated himself. He has taken up his father's mantle, really. He is going around killing these ghosts. He doesn't need distractions. That is his focus. And he's training himself up so he can kill the ghost that killed his father, which is not Anna, by the way. So he's using Anna as sort of a training kill. And you see him grow as a character because he starts acquiring these friends, and he doesn't really know why, but he seems to like it. One of my favourite things about this book was his sort of psychic friend that he picks up along the way called Thomas. He was a great sort of fun character that I really enjoyed reading about. The end. Oh my goodness, the end. I did not see that coming. I mean, I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but I didn't see that coming. Amazing. And needless to say, now that I've read this, I feel like I need Girl of Nightmares right now. I want to be reading Girl of Nightmares right this second, because even though there is a romance in this book, that was what I was sort of pinning everything on. Everything that I wanted to happen romantically happened right at the end, and then all this sort of stuff happened, and now major cliffhanger, and I need Girl of Nightmares because it can't end like that. I need more. So it was really, really great. Well written, unique characters. It had the horror sort of gore. If you feel like you don't like horror, I would give this a go, because story-wise, it's not just horror. It's very mild. If there was a scale, I mean, I've not read any horror, so I can't really judge, but I was able to read it and really love it. It's probably one of my favourite books now. I really, really honestly loved it. So if you feel like, I want to get into horror, but I don't want to be freaked out majorly, I would say start with this. This is what you need to start with to give you a little bit of taste for it, because now I'm thinking, what else can I get into that's like this? Because I really, really enjoyed this. So for me, if you can't guess, it's a 5 out of 5 star read. I didn't find it predictable, unique characters, great plot. It was in Mel's perspective, authentic. It had everything a great read should have. The pacing was amazing. I read it in like 2 days. I just fell in love with the characters and the story. And what was one major amazing thing about this is Anna is a killer. She is cursed. She's a ghost. She has to kill everyone that comes in her house. But you are able to somehow really feel for her, which is really well done. I mean, she's killed countless people, and yet when you hear her story, you actually really feel for her, because I did not expect her story to be like that. I mean, she was obviously brutally murdered, but there was a slight twist with that, and I thought it was really good. Didn't see it coming at all. So I would definitely recommend this for YA readers. If you love horror, then obviously it's perfect for you. If you like books with a little sort of paranormal on them, but you don't like romance to be the focus, I'd recommend this, because romance is not the end. It obviously happens, but it's towards the end of the book and it's not heavy. I feel like there could be more in the next book, which I actually really want there to be, because I feel like it was well done. It wasn't a sloshy, trashy romance. It was a really, really well done romance. So I hope there is more of that. If you've read this book, please let me know what you thought of it, because I was blown away. I loved it. I actually recommended it to a friend at college, and she read it as well, and we've been talking about it like non-stop at how awesome it is and how we need the next book now. So yeah, definitely would check this out. Really would. Thanks for watching this review, and I'll see you all soon, and happy reading.